Okay, Mike at Greenbank has a question about one of your favourite subjects, I think, the ULDA.
Mike.
G'day, Campbell. How you going?
Not too bad at all, and you?
No, well, thanks. Hey, we've had a huge fight on our hands with the ULDA out at Greenbank the last couple of weeks.
Yes, I noticed you had a big meeting there a week or two ago.
Yeah, look, we did. We got 7,700 signatures in 6 weeks from locals that are just really offended by this undemocratic legislation and these brutal powers that the ULDA have that denies every single Queenslander natural justice. You know, no one is allowed to appeal the decisions of this particular authority. The developers are allowed to appeal. The ULDA can appeal, but us as residents, who are the voting public, are not allowed to appeal. Mate, I would like to pledge my commitment to you that if you can make it an election issue to get this legislation fully reviewed and amended, then our committee are fully committed to support you to get every area that is affected by the ULDA legislation, and there are many communities very, very upset. I'd like to get a 20 minutes with you as a meeting to see how can we go to, one, get you in voted so that you can get this legislation heavily reviewed and amended. It has its place in the plan for Queensland, but it is being grossly and inappropriately used at the moment. We had a meeting that was scheduled for the Deputy Premier yesterday, and it was with Paul Eagles, the CEO, and the Deputy Premier. Now, we had that meeting. The Deputy Premier failed to show, and Paul Eagles walked out of that meeting. They've had our submission, our community submission, for a week. Not a single person from the other side had even read our submission or even took the time to read the one-page summary on a 71-page submission.
All right.
It's really offensive.
Well, these are long questions, but we're
Mike,
getting them. Yep.
Well, Mike, in response, I couldn't agree more. I have a particular view on the ULDA as Lord Mayor of Brisbane, and if I should end up being the state leader of the LNP, I want to sit down with them and see if I can. Now, and it is a democracy. I've got to get them to come on board as well. But I'll say what I'll be pushing for, and my position is that the ULDA has a particular role, but it's not where they are at the moment. You know, what the state government have tried to do, for listeners not aware of this, is they've created this organisation which can go round into designated areas that the state minister says, say here. And there's one around Wollongabba, there's one in Bowen Hills, there's one down, as you've heard, down near Greenbank, there's one Hamilton, North Shore, the old port areas. Anyway, the state says, this no longer is run for planning purposes by council, it's now the ULDA. They're not elected, they're not accountable, they have, as Mike said, huge powers the local government don't get, and they can ride roughshod over the wishes of local communities. I believe it should stop, and I want the state LNP team, should they elect me in the not-too-distant future as the leader, and that's what they're saying they're going to do. I just don't want to preempt their decision, but that's what I want. I want us to have a policy position that says, not on your life.
Okay,
and I want local governments, and importantly, communities, with people like Mike, having the say about how those communities go forward. You just can't ride roughshod over people.
Yeah, now ULDA stands for
Urban Land Development Authority.